If your business is not making the money it should be and you're feeling burnt out, you're probably not paying attention to these 4 numbers that will either make or break your business. Today, I'm joined by Heidi DeCoux, who's going to dive deep into these 4 numbers and give you the practical tips and tools you need to take control of your business.
We actually care about you. I've been working with solopreneurs for over 20 years. I know you better than you know yourself. I believe in you. You're the ones that are like changing our world for the better. And I want to see more and more solopreneurs create multi-6-figure, multi-7-figure net income businesses, like take-home pay businesses, without overworking themselves. Somewhere right now on our planet, someone is working on an idea that will be the first billion-dollar one-person business.
As a solopreneur, if your business is not making the money it should be and you're feeling burnt out, you're probably not paying attention to these 4 numbers that will either make or break your business. Today, I'm joined by Heidi DeCoux, who's going to dive deep into these 4 numbers and give you the practical tips and tools you need to take control of your business. Heidi's a serial entrepreneur that's built 4 businesses with 50% plus profit margins, and she sold 3 of them, one of which was a 7-figure exit. She's been featured in Forbes and so many other publications and podcasts. Her latest venture is Cashflowy, an AI-powered tool that helps solopreneurs like you take control of their cash flow. Heidi, thanks for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on today, Kevin.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm so pumped for our talk today. You've built 4 businesses, and what I found so amazing, and the real reason I wanted to get on this call and really dive into things, is all of them were serving solopreneurs. I don't think I've ever met anyone who is as passionate about helping small business people. So, of course, this is the Solopreneur channel, so I can't wait to get into everything you're going to share with us today. But really quickly, tell me and the audience a bit about your journey and how you got here, and maybe why you love working with solopreneurs.
So I've been serving solopreneurs in different capacities for over 20 years now. This is actually my 5th company. I sold 3 of my previous companies, and I believe that solopreneurs are the backbone of our economy. They're more important than ever. Somewhere right now on our planet, someone is working on an idea that will be the first billion-dollar one-person business. And it's just a matter of time before we see that happen. And so solopreneurs have an opportunity to create a highly lucrative lifestyle business doing work that they really care about, the good, high quality human work. And I'm an advocate for AI-backed humans. So if we can take humans, AI-back them so that they're able to automate a lot of processes and make it so that they can do their good, high quality human work more hours out of the day and have more time to spend rejuvenating themselves and doing their hobbies or raising kids or whatever it is that they want to do, then you have the power to make a really consistent income while doing work that you love and not overworking yourself. And so I want to be part of AI backing solopreneurs.
Yeah, I love that. And, I think often we think about it as in terms of, hey, how do I just get more done? Get more done in the same number of hours. But I think you're raising an interesting point, which is also people are lacking these days, especially solopreneurs, is balance. It's not always about getting more done. It's about, let me get some time back, get the same amount done at better quality or faster, and let me get some time back to be able to decompress, to spend time with, the people that we love. And kind of that's the whole point of being an entrepreneur, to get that freedom. So, no, I love that, that balanced view of it. But, let's get to the 4 numbers that the entrepreneurs need to know. I'm super excited to, dive into what these are. So what are they and why are they so important?
So there are 4 main KPIs, which stands for key performance indicators, that every solopreneur needs to know and understand so that you're focused on the right thing in your business. You're not just throwing a bunch of spaghetti at their wall and spending tons of hours doing tons of things that are not actually moving the needle in your business and creating a consistent net income that you can pay yourself with from your business. And so your KPI, it's way more than just about having your expenses and income categorized and having your P&L and your balance sheet and being ready for your taxes. The real important thing to know every month is these 4 main KPIs, because they drive smarter business decisions so that you can actually work less, earn more, do higher quality work. And so really knowing and understanding these 4 primary KPIs, which they're revenue, profitability, client metrics, and productivity.
Can you give, maybe a little bit more about each one, or, I'd love to just unpack it a bit. I think it'd be really helpful, for maybe newer entrepreneurs, especially, because I think us seasoned entrepreneurs, I think it's crystal clear what all those things are and why they matter. But, maybe could you, unpack it a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the 4 categories again of KPIs is you've got your revenue KPIs, your profitability, your client metrics, and your productivity. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples.
Yeah.
So in terms of your profitability, you've got your gross profit, like the gross amount of revenue coming into your business, the total revenue. You've got your net profit, and then your cost of acquisition for acquiring a client, which goes into that net profit. Now, it gets a little more nitty gritty, but I'm going to keep it high level right now and give you an example. So let's say that looking at your profitability KPIs, you see, and this is a very common thing with solopreneurs. Generally speaking, when you dive into your different profitability KPIs, you're going to find that about 20% of the services that you deliver or products that you sell are creating the majority of your net profit. They're very profitable, and then you're doing a bunch of things that are not very profitable, and they're just taking a lot of time and energy. And once you figure that out, you need to quit these things and you need to double down on these things and focus your efforts. You're going to be able to take home more money from your business every month and work fewer hours. And so that's just one example of when you know your KPI and you dive into those numbers, you can make much smarter business decisions. I'll give you another example. When you look at your client metrics, you may find that you've got a retention problem in your business. You're not retaining enough of your clients. And so when you see that, you can then go to ChatGPT, put in all your business details and say, hey, this is my average retention right now. I want to increase it. Give me strategies for increasing my retention in my business. And that would be something that you would focus on because that's what your numbers are telling you to focus on. You're not just guessing what to do in your business. Another one in the productivity metric. So you're doing especially a lot of solopreneurs are doing service-based work, right? Yeah. And so let's say that you're doing service-based work. Now, when you're delivering services to clients and you're charging whatever it is, whether it's a flat rate, hourly rate, you can break that down per hour, right? Because it took you this many hours to deliver a service that you charge this for. So that's how much you were making per hour that you were doing the delivery. Now, there's a bunch of hours that you worked in your business where they were just the back end, right? Running the back end. And so that lowers this number, because if you take your total hours worked, not just the hours that you got paid for, right? And so when you look at that, if you're spending over half your time not getting paid in your business, you've got automation problem, systematization problem. You could use some tech and AI to streamline things so that you can reduce the amount of non-paid work that you're doing and increase the amount of revenue generating activities that you're doing. So these are the simple, very straightforward strategies that when you really know your numbers, when you shine a light and you look behind the curtain and you're willing to really look at your numbers and understand your KPIs, you know exactly what to focus on in your business so that your business is much more successful and you can pay yourself a lot more at the end of each month.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's such a nugget, and I'm appreciate you unpacking that. I mean, it's definitely, everyone knows it's about making more revenue. That's obvious. But I think what we're talking about here is like optimizing your revenue. How do you, effectively keep more of that dollar that you make? I think one part of it. And to your point about the 20% rule, I think this is true in that Pareto principle is true in every walk of life. Even if you go to any company, 80% of their sales, for example, will come from 20% of their sales force. This is true across every industry. I think you're completely right in every business I've run that, really just taking a look at, well, where are my highest leverage opportunities? What's actually the best work for me? What gives me the best return, the most satisfaction personally, but also like, where from a numbers perspective, this is actually the best business and the most scalable, the best to deliver and all that. So I think those are some really, really, really important metrics that probably a lot of solopreneurs are not thinking about, as they do this. But, I think that dives into then, the idea here is, so what are some easy ways? I think you shared great example with ChatGPT, a simple example. But so what are some easy ways that business owners can try and keep track of these metrics? Do you have any tools or tips that you could be using?
We actually have a free guide that you can go download on our website. It's cashflowy.ai/resources. It's called our Profit Clarity Playbook. Profit Clarity Playbook. It's available, cashflowy.ai/resources.
I'll link it for them as well. So they can
And
it, yeah.
in that guide, we actually break down these 4 KPIs in more detail and then show you if your numbers say this, do this. If your numbers
Love
say
that.
this, do that. If your numbers say this, do that. Now, if you become a Cashflowy user, so in Cashflowy, we automagically handle all your bookkeeping, accounting, and by the end of this year, your taxes. A big difference between Cashflowy and other softwares on the market is, we do a better job and it's simpler and we've got smarter AI. But on top of that, we're not just there to crunch your numbers and get you tax ready. We legitimately care about you and about your success and about you making more money in your business that you can actually take home and pay yourself with, more net profit. So in Cashflowy, we show you literally your cash flow projections and your KPIs, and we train you on that, and we show you, okay, your numbers are saying this, which means you need to do this. And so we take this whole concept in the KPI guide and we drill down further so that you're always smart about your numbers. You know what's going on in your business. No, you're never getting like caught off guard. You know what your cash flow projection looks like. Because whatever numbers in your bank account is kind of irrelevant. You've already spent some of that money, plus you have new money coming in. What you need to know is your actual cash flow and what's really happening in your business and what you really should be focused on. And that's what we do inside Cashflowy, in addition to obviously keeping you tax ready.
Got it. So I love that. Like just, to unpack it a bit. So right now today, people can go and grab the Profit Clarity Playbook. And, I think there's a big difference between data and insights. And so that, I love what you said there. So it's not just going to tell them, like once they get the numbers, well, what do I do with these numbers? It's like, well, what should I do now? Like, what do these numbers mean? It's like, well, these are the business decisions you should consider making. So I love that. And I think, and you're saying, and you probably have some practical tips in there for how to do some of these things. But I think what you're saying is, or what I'm hearing is, and I've seen the platform, it's amazing, and I'd love to, and we can maybe dive into Cashflow a little bit, but if someone wants like fully automated here, then you built a platform specifically with this in mind to help people kind of just do a lot of this automatically.
Yeah. And you don't need a human bookkeeper, which statistically speaking, a competent human bookkeeper is about 70% accurate. Our software is in beta right now and we're 96% accurate. And, on our way to near perfect accuracy. And then a human bookkeeper, you're going to email them a question and maybe hear back like 3 days later. Often they have a follow-up question. Where inside Cashflow, you have access to an AI bookkeeper that you can talk to 24/7 and get really accurate answers about what's going on with your financials, how much money you spent on ads last year, how much money you spent on software last month, how much it costs you to acquire a new customer, how many outstanding invoices you have, etc. And so you can, and then not only are always keeping on top of your numbers and keeping you tax ready, so you don't have to have anxiety at tax time, and that you've got your books in shape. But in addition to that, you really understand what's actually happening in your business and what to do about it. So this fall, we're going to be launching Cashflower Society, which all of our Cashflow users will get free access to. And in the Cashflower Society, we're going to have in-depth resources on what to do based on what your numbers are telling you. If your numbers are telling you have a lead flow problem, you can go into Cashflow Society and download free resources that are included that are like, hey, here's cash injection strategies to immediately land some new clients. Here's scripts, templates, all of that. You have a retention problem? Okay. Well, that's usually fixed in the way that you onboard new clients. Onboarding makes or breaks how long they stay with you. And so here's some sample onboarding systems that you can swipe, edit, and use in your business. And so all of that will be included in for all of our cash flowers, because again, like, we're not just building a software that's like, okay, we did your books, you're tax ready. We actually care about you. I've been working with solopreneurs for over 20 years. I know you better than you know yourself. I believe in you. You're the ones that are like changing our world for the better. And I want to see more and more solopreneurs create multi-6-figure, multi-7-figure net income businesses, like take home pay businesses, without overworking themselves. And in today's world, that's more possible than ever before. Like, now is the time that you can actually do your good human powered, work in the world that you really enjoy putting out there, and you can do it in a way that's highly abundant, because we're going to AI back you. So I want to be part of that solution, that AI backing you. And so the part that we're doing is the financials. We're getting you really smart about your money, so that you know what to do and what to focus on in your business.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, so much there. And Heidi, like you said, you've worked with so many solopreneurs, and I think you alluded to it there a little bit, but like, how did you come up with the idea for Cashflowy? Like, why, talk to me about that. It sounds like, the way you speak about it is you've seen all of these frustrations, and have you just observed this to be a real blind spot for solopreneur? I can tell you, like, for me as someone who, I have a small team, but as primarily a solopreneur, like, I can't, I love what I love about some elements of the business, but the financial stuff, oh man, I'm like allergic to it. I have to do it, but I just, it's just not my favorite thing to do. And I think a lot of people would agree with that, the financial stuff, the legal stuff. And, but I'd love to hear, where the genesis for this came from, and why you think, maybe.
So having worked with solopreneurs for the last 20 years in different capacities, I knew that a consistent problem for them was not knowing their numbers. I've worked with several different niches in different, ways over the years, and all of them struggled really knowing and understanding their numbers and what to focus on. And solutions like, say, QuickBooks, FreshBooks, they're really made for bigger businesses, so they feel very clunky and overwhelming for a solopreneur. So then they end up having to hire a human bookkeeper, which is extremely expensive for a solopreneur, and just time consuming and a headache, right? And then you still don't usually know your numbers. You're just kind of like tax ready. And so so me solving this problem for you means that you can do better, higher quality work. You can get paid better for that work, and you can work fewer hours. And with where we're at with AI, I knew that we could make really smart AI so that it all feels magical for you. Any solopreneur using Cashflowy can manage all their finances in under 1 hour a month. That you don't need a human bookkeeper. In addition to being tax ready, you're going to be smart. You're going to know exactly what's going on in your business, what your numbers are telling you, and what to do about it.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. And even just riffing off of what you were saying there with, you're not just tax ready. As I think about it, as you were saying that, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs who are like, it's like a mystery at the end of the year. Hey, how much money did I make? Like if you're, cash flow is supposed is a leading indicator. You should know month to month, how your business is trending. It shouldn't be like a surprise at the end of the year. Like, was I profitable? Like if that's where I think it's spot on. Like if you're right now operating a business and you're waiting till tax time for your one time you hire an accountant to tell you if this was a good year, like you're in trouble, right? Because you could have been, you might be playing it too safe because maybe, you're making way more money than you are and you don't even know. Or maybe you're spending way even worse than you have because you think you're making all this money, but you're not watching the four numbers you talked about, and there's just things leaking everywhere, and you're overspending. So no, I think, and I think and from what I've seen with Cashflowy, definitely automating some of that, tracking and expensing and bookkeeping just allows you to, like you said, in 1 hour a month, be able to stay on top of this without it being like, let me dedicate a full day every week to try to reconcile these things, right? So no, that's amazing, and I love the passion and for it, and I definitely do agree that this is probably an underserved area for solopreneurs and things maybe all of us don't focus enough on, but it's super important. And yeah, but let's we've talked about Cashflow, so tell me about the launch and you kind of talked about some community aspects, and I understand you have a few bonuses from my community, from my viewers right here.
So we just are right now opening the doors for 200 new beta founding members to come in. The first thing you're going to get is half off, and you're locked in at that rate for life. So as we refine and grow Cashflowy, obviously the price will go up and up and up, and that will never affect you. You'll be locked in at this half off for life for as long as you use Cashflowy. Yeah. And then we're also going to give you $3,000 worth of bonuses that you immediately unlock. One of the bonuses is one of my best friends, Selena Sue, put together a program that she sold to hundreds of people for $1,200 called Cash Injection Strategies. I think there's 20 in there. And it's literally 20 different ways to inject cash in your business, like to go out and get clients like right away. It's scripts, templates, everything you need to grab and go.
Amazing.
So choose a few strategies. You can go land new clients immediately. She has like loads of testimonials on that program. You get that for free. It's just an on-demand thing you can go through, and it's very fast. It's not like a big thing. You just go in, look at the strategies, pick the ones you like, and you've got everything you need to implement immediately. So that's just one example of the bonuses in the bonus package. So it's like a legit good bonus package. We'll even ship a beautiful box to your door. It's this gorgeous Cashflowy box. It's got like a stainless steel water bottle. It's got a canvas bag. We have a book, Rich Relationships, How to Build Your $1 Million Network, and you'll get a special invite to a book club that we're doing when we launch Cashflower Society. And then a big thing is, as a founding member, you're helping shape Cashflowy. So we are rolling out new features every Friday now, starting this next Friday, and you're gonna help decide what new features get rolled out and what things we shift and where we, if you want like a button moved here or you want to see this or that. The AI bookkeeper that's built in, we're going to be running a fun contest where you get to choose the name and personality for our AI bookkeeper. You get to submit that. So like you're really on the ground, you're part of it, you're part of growing this tool that is going to give you what you need to build a thriving business, making the kind of money that you're making, doing good work in the world without exhausting yourself because you're AI backed. You've automated all of this. You're not struggling through your financials. You always know your numbers. Everything's automatically being done for you. You're always organized with them. And most importantly, you know what to actually focus on that's going to get you the results that you want in your business.
100%. First of all, those offers sound great, and it's only the first 200 people, so I will drop that link down below. I think you're spot on with everything you shared, Heidi. I think being able to just know your numbers, I think also just gives you a lot more peace and clarity. I think as solopreneurs, we go through a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and unknowns, and just having one less unknown, because there's a lot of unknowns in business, but finances doesn't have to be. It's actually, it's very much a math thing, right? Like it's one of the few things that, doesn't have to be an unknown, and you actually have all the information in your business. And Heidi, just real quick, from what I've seen with Cashflowy, you know, you can connect everything that you already use, so you don't need to worry about entering stuff manually, right?
No, no, you're going to connect your bank accounts, your credit cards, your PayPal, like all your business stuff. And we don't have access to any of that. We don't get access to your bank account or your credit card or anything. What the system is doing is simply reading your transactions. So it's reading your transactions, and then it's categorizing the income, categorizing the expenses, creating you reports, creating all your, real-time dashboard, and showing you what's going on in your business. We have invoicing in there. So if you use the invoicing tool, you make it even smarter, because then it knows, who your clients are, how much you're invoicing them, and what you've got your receivables look like based on the invoices that have gone out. We've got really fantastic invoicing. It's actually one-click pay. So just, for example, let's say that you were using QuickBooks and you use their invoicing tool. You would have to, when you send your client an invoice, your client actually would have to set up a free QuickBooks account in order to pay that invoice. That creates a huge amount of
No
friction.
one wants to do that.
Crazy.
No one.
So we don't make you do that. You send an invoice to your client just chooses, do they want to pay with, credit card, PayPal, whatever options you set up, and they just click one button and pay, like done. And so a lot less, friction. You get paid a lot faster. It helps with your cash flow projector in there. But yeah, it's all automated because it's all synced up.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, and definitely, I'm sure a lot of people, that sounds refreshing, if you've ever tried something like like you said, a QuickBooks or something. And, these are great softwares if you're an accountant, for sure. Right? Like these are very powerful software, and they're just built for someone, who does this for a living, as opposed to someone who's just trying to do this quickly so that they can get it done and know their numbers. So yeah, amazing. Heidi, I appreciate all the bonuses you're offering. And again, whether you want to check those bonuses out and give Cashflow a try, or if you just want to grab the Profit Clarity Playbook for free and start thinking about this and trying to do some of the recommendations there, just to get a picture of this. And, if you haven't been paying attention to this before, I recommend that at the very least. You definitely need to start knowing your numbers, even if it's tracking a few of them at a time. So I'll definitely drop those two links down below. And again, Heidi, thank you so much for the time and all the knowledge you dropped today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, where can people find you and connect with you online?
So I'm mostly on Instagram and getting on LinkedIn. And I'm just Heidi DeCoux. So you can just use my name in either Instagram or LinkedIn. Kevin will drop it below for you, the spelling. And then Cashflowy.ai. We have a really good newsletter that goes out. We've gotten really good feedback on it. So it's a unique newsletter, so you want to check it out. And that's at cashflowy.ai/resources. You can download any of our free resources, and then you'll start getting our newsletter.
Amazing. Heidi, thanks again, and congrats on the launch. And I know people are really going to enjoy the community and all the bonuses. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.